continue. Done with Urdu. And those who have actually did the reading part. So there is one question I can tell you now. You all can write this question, right? And this is very important question. It is there in the past papers as well. So the question is, um, why was Urdu,
chosen as national language?
yes, why was Urdu chosen as national language?
Sir, I made the points like it's very so much points that like it can make the answer of many questions
Yeah, yeah.
related to.
Okay, good. That's good. Just now, national language in 1947. In 1947, this is 7 mark question. The points which can be there for this question's answer are like it was a common language. Common language. It was
Sir,
a symbol of
initially it was called like pretty like this something.
symbol of unity and identity. Okay. Uh, related or associated with Pakistan movement.
Sir, can this be also a point that the Muslim leaders used to deliver speeches in Urdu?
Yeah, this is what Pakistan movement. I gave the journal heading.
Okay.
So you will mention here Pakistan movement, Pakistan leader Qaid-e-Azam emphasized Urdu to be the national language. Uh, rich and developed language.
Rich literature.
Yeah, that will come here. So these are the points for
Sir, and
Urdu.
Quran was also translated into Urdu by the sons of.
Yeah, you can put that in here, rich and developed language, so that there is a religious literature in this. Quran was translated, other books, etc. So these are some main points. You can describe these points, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can write very easily 7 mark question. From the book, I can show you here.
Sir, in we have to write. Can the question come of the like there are some poets and there are some prose. So can the poets? I know that the question might come of poets, but of prose, will the question come or no? Sir, your voice is not coming. Sir, your voice is not coming, sir. Can't hear you. Can anybody hear, sir?
No.
No.
Sir,
I think sir got disconnected.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry, actually my call was dropped, right? So, okay, so Urdu topic done, and you will go through. If you haven't done it, please read and answer this question. Is it clear? Is this question is clear to you? Why was
Yes,
Urdu
sir.
chosen as a national language?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, let's
Yes,
do now.
clear.
Okay, so Sindhi is the uh, regional language of Pakistan. It is one of the oldest language, uh, dated back to 12th century, and since 12th century, there hasn't been much change in this language. So this is like kind of a strength of a language, that a language is so developed and so rich that it keeps it, basic shape. So before the arrival of Islam, Sindhi was written in Marwari or Ariz Nikari ways of writing, means script, but later on it's been written in Arabic script. So our all regional languages now written on an Arabic script. Arabic script mean like we write Urdu from right to left. This is the Arabic script, and the way Arabic is written or Urdu is written. In the same way, Sindhi, Pashto, Balochi, and all these languages are written in Arabic script. And then there are different script, like the way Hindi is written, it's a different way. Bengali is written in a different way. English is a different way. But our language is in an Arabic script. Sindhi has a great literature, great poets, Sufis, great poets, literature, Sufis are there in this language. Since 1947, like after Pakistan, what has been done? Several important books have been written on Sindhi folk literature. 48 Sindhi Literary Board was set up, and it has printed many books, magazine in Sindhi. Important Sindhi authors are Pir Ali, Muhammad Rashdi, Fakir Nabi Baks, G. Alana. In 1954, Basme Talibul Mola was set up to promote Sindhi language literature. A Sarmat, a Sachal Sarmat Academy has been established in the memory of Sachal Sarmat, who was a great poet. A Sindhyology department has been established in Sindh Jamshoro University. Sindhi became the most developed language since 1947. It is compulsory subject in Sindh in all schools from grade 6 to 10. So they have this important, learning of Sindhi language. Sindhi is an elective subject in intermediate and degree classes. A lot of plays, dramas, TV station, radio stations are there working on this language. So Sindhi is one of the ancient, oldest language, has a great literature, great poets, Sufi poets such as Sarmas, Shah Abdul Latif Bhitai. These are some great Sindhi poets. It has a great literature. Since 1947, government has taken several steps to develop this language. It is spoken in Sindh, and uh, the 12% people speak this language. So this is important language in Pakistan. The second one. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is Shah Abdul Latif Bhitai's tomb, which is in Sindh. Shah Abdul Latif Bhitai, he is one of the greatest Sufi poet of Sindhi language. Sachal Sharma's tomb, he is another great Sufi poet. So these are two great Sufi poets of this language, and their tomb is a meeting place for 100,000 of devotees. You can say the followers who come to visit the shrine, offer dua, etc. And their poetry is performed, sung,
Excuse
recited.
me, sir.
Yes.
We can't see your screen. You're not sharing it.
Oh, yes, I got disconnected, and afterwards I did not. 1 minute. Now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Now it's sharing.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So actually, I was showing you this one. Shah Abdul Latif Bhitai's tomb is this one, and this is Sachal Sarma's tomb. These are two great Sufi poets of Sindhi language. These shrines are in Sindh, and as I was telling you that 100,000 of followers, devotees throughout the year come to visit. Many of the great, you can say, performers and reciters, they recite their kalam, their poetry, because this poetry is of all religious nature. It's about guidance, it's about awareness, it's about bringing people back to their true self, the religion, the kindness, love, and these things are basically the topic of their poetry. So there are two great poets you can see, and rest we discussed about Sindhi language. Then Balochi. Balochi is comparatively not a very developed language, and it is spoken by, as you see here, with only 3% of people in Balochistan. Mainly, it's spoken in Balochistan, so they speak this language. It doesn't have a great written literature, since great literature, written literature, since ancient time. The most of the literature was folk, and it was like uh, from people to people. Like folk literature is a kind of mainly unwritten, and people memorize it, and those stories and songs and those things uh, move from one to another generation, transfer from one to another generation. So it's a kind of folk literature tradition in Balochi language. For the first time in 1830, a British traveler, W. Leach, reported in a Journal of Asiatic Language Society journal. He mentioned about Balochi language and literature. So it was not a very famous, or we can say a rich or a developed language, but still very important language. Jam Darang was it's considered to be its main poets, or early main poets. So it has different dialects, you can say Balochi, Suleimanki, or Makrani, which is this is mainly spoken in Balochistan. Since 1947, what government did, Pakistan government, Radio Pakistan Karachi began to broadcast in Balochi language. Balochi Literary Society Association was set up, which issued magazines, etc., monthly, weekly. Quetta television station broadcasted a lot of plays and other program in Balochi language. Modern Balochi literature has shown a rapid progress. There are many poets, most notably are Shah, Ishaq, Shamim. Other writers such as Gul Khan Nasir and Azad Jamal Deen are working to promote this language. Balochi magazines and newspaper are published. Songs, folk songs, other songs are famous now. So this is one of the famous poets, Mir Gul Khan Nasir, for 1914 to 1983. A poet who struggled for Balochi unity, freedom, and social changes. So this is all about Balochi. Okay, are you following me? Because this is like just simple information we need to collect and share about these languages. So this is a very common kind of a very simple topic. Punjabi. Now, this is the largest language spoken in Pakistan right now. 48% of the people speak Punjabi, and it's spoken mainly in Punjab and some other part in Kashmir and in KP, etc. So mainly in Punjab. Punjabi is the largest language which is spoken in Pakistan. It is one of the ancient language as well. Very rich language. It has a great literature, literary tradition, especially the poets. So Punjabi, what is I can tell you the great poets in this Punjabi: Farid Ganj Shakar, Sultan Bahu, Baba Bulle Shah. These are some of the great poets, and their poetry is full of wisdom, guidance, love, kindness, empathy, sympathy. So they have a great subjects, universal subjects. They do not specifically talk of one or the other sect or religion or group, but universal appeal to everyone, which is love, kindness, sympathy, brotherhood. So it has a great message, and obviously the love of Islam and guidance is there. Some of the great stories, folk tales. What is folk tale? Is there anyone who knows what folk tale is? Folk tales.
Sir?
Folk. Yes.
Sir,
Sir,
folk
can I
tales
tell?
are stories that are told from one generation to another, like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
like uh, like a father will tell his son a story, a
Mm-hmm.
very old story which his father told him. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Okay.
carried on. It's like a traditional story.
Yeah, very good. Folk tales, folk literature, folk song, as I told you, that this is kind of unwritten traditional uh, things which are from one to another generation, usually through memory, written as well. But there is a great tradition of performing them, reciting them, telling them. So in Punjabi, if you have heard, He Rancha is a very famous folk tale, which was sung and performed by great artists. That was a kind of one-man show what you see now in modern form of performance, one-man show. So there was a one person who was kind of an actor and a singer who used to perform and sing Hiranja. That's a great story. Sasi Punu and other, Soni Miyawal and others. So these are some great Punjabi folk tales, folk songs are there. So Punjabi has a great literature, great tradition, and it's a very powerful language. The poetry of Baba Farid Ganshakar, Sultan Bahu, and Baba Bulle Shah is full of wisdom. Uh, Continuing, as I told you, Punjabi is mainly spoken in Punjab. It's widely spoken language in Pakistan. 47, what has been done, greatly developed. It is in the university, taught as an elective subject in schools. There are master degrees, there are bachelor degrees, there is a PhD degrees. So books, variety of books are written in this language, academic subjects such as law, medicine, history, philosophy. So there is a lot, there has been a lot of work done in this language. So it's been developed. Quran has been translated into this language by Muhammad Ali Faiq. So that is another great thing. What is there in this language? It's the language of media. There are lots of Punjabi dramas, stage dramas, movies, radio station, television. So a lot of folk, a lot of talk shows, etc. So it's been very much in on media, in theater, in movie, and in other form of the media. Uh, Famous poets, modern famous poets, Munir Niazi, very famous. If you don't know, I don't know. Ustad Daman, Sharif Punjabi, Ahmad Rai. These are some of the modern poets. The classic Sufi poets we have already mentioned. This is Hazrat Baba Bulle Shah, and I don't know that whether you can read it or not, or understand it or not, but it has a great wisdom in this. Uh, yeah, here it says, if can you see the screen, right? View the screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the overall message of this whole verse says like this entire is that you read books and you become a great scholar. You have a sword and you become a great warrior. You go to Makkah and Medina and you become a haji or a great wise person. But what's the outcome? What's the outcome? Have you reached? Have you got to God? Have you a sort of relation with God? Did you develop that fine relation? Did you obey your Lord? And have you established that fine relationship with your God, or you are been through these? Because uh, knowledge is a process, and rest of the things are process. Outcome is what? outcome is to have a very good relationship with God, so that you connect with Almighty, the Creator. So that is the message. I hope you have understood. Did you get this? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because I confirm it, because I just want, because if you can hear or not. And second, in second verse it says that it is Lord, it is God who is everywhere, who knows everything, who is inside, outside, everywhere. There is nothing but God. So you can see the topics of these great Sufi poets. They have a great wisdom and guidance. So this is Punjabi. We are to the last language, that is Pashto. Where is Pashto mainly spoken?
KPK.
In KPK, but also in Balochistan as well, right? There are parts in Balochistan where this language is spoken. This language is also very ancient, dated back to 2nd and 3rd century. Amir Khan, Pehlwan, and Yazid were the first poets. Yazid, famous work was Khairul Bayan, probably the first book on Sufism in Pashto literature. So Pashto also is very traditional language, ancient, not traditional, but ancient language, a great, rich, developed language dated back to 2nd and 3rd century. It has a great literary tradition, also great Sufi poets in there, in this language as well. It is spoken by how many people in Pakistan? Did you remember? Pashto is spoken by 8% of the people in Pakistan. Um, so the second period began with Mughals' invasion of India. During this period, quality of prose was at its peak. Pashto poetry reflected the growth of nationalism and Pashto freedom. Famous literary personalities of this time was Hazrat Mia Umar, Sadat Ali Khan, and Amir Muhammad Ansari. So these were the second phase, the second, you can say, the next important period of this language, from 2nd, 3rd century towards Mughals' time, 15th and 16th century. This period extended to the establishment of British rule, and considered to be a very golden period of Pashto literature of Khund Pirzada Khushal Khan Khattak. He was very famous, a warrior poet, because he was military general as well. So, as well as a Sufi poet, Rahman Baba. These are some of the great literary figure of this language. As Pakhtun put up a very tough resistance to British rule in India, and finally British had to, sign the treaty, which we discussed in EIC when we were talking about the expansion. They wanted to go towards Afghanistan and these tribal areas in Pakistan, but finally they agreed not to invade. Their all troops in Afghanistan were killed, so they were not able to occupy this area. Part of NWFP, which is KP, became part of British India, but rest Pakhtun areas and all that Afghanistan part was free. So Pashto language also became the language of resistance during the British time. So it has this role as well. These are the verses which I can't read and translate to you, but some of the great wisdom and knowledge is there in Pashto poetry as well. So these are 4 languages. If you look at the book, I can show you very simple topic. Sindhi language, same, little bit historical background is given. Some of the great poets are mentioned, what has been done now since 1947. So this is so simple points what we have discussed. Same like Balochi language and Punjabi, and finally Pashto. So you will go through, these are only 2 pages. You will go through a couple of paragraphs and underline the important points. Pakistan, these 5 languages, as we already discussed, are there. The questions: what steps to foster the growth of Urdu has with the government of Pakistan taken, 4-mark question. This question can be asked for other languages as well. What step to foster the growth of Punjabi or Sindhi Balochi or Pashto has the government taken? So answer of this question is at the end of every language, where it talks about that the like here the mention 54 was set up. So all steps which were taken by the government are mentioned here, like Quran was translated and all that stuff. So the government of Pakistan, whatever the steps were taken, they are mentioned there. Here 1948 Sindhi Literary Society and the rest of 54. So the steps are taken by the government are mentioned here. This question: why did Pakistan choose Urdu as its national language in 1947? We have already discussed. The last question: how successful has
So
the
do we have to
promotion?
do these questions
Sorry.
in copy? Do we have to
Yes.
do?
Yes. Yeah. You will. I will share what we will do like for homework. As a homework, I will share a page with you in your OneNote or under your name history. So there will be a page given to you with question mentioned. On that page, you will upload your homework. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So some of the questions are for discussion, and some of the question which will be specifically for homework that I will share and mention in that page and share with you. So the last question: how successful has the promotion of local language in Pakistan since 1947? Give reason for your answer. This question is very simple. Now, before you answer any question, one thing if you do, like read Pashto, these 3-4 paragraphs, write the important points, and with those important points, you will come up with one paragraph about each language. So there will be a one paragraph we can write about each language when we discuss these, like here. If you take the points, read this, take the points, points, then you will be with a very short paragraph about Pashto language, and this paragraph would be enough for us to answer any question. So first do this, take brief notes. This is your what I would suggest the homework right now, a general homework. This is for every lesson. Read quickly, scan through, underline, and write down the important points with you. And rest, I will share the homework with you in your that OneNote. Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Okay, so that's all. We are done with the time as well. So till next class next week, read, and meanwhile I will share the question with you as well. So we are done with this
Okay.
topic, very simple topic. Yes,
So I've done the question. Why did Pakistan choose Urdu as its national language?
that's great. That's great.
Sir,
So
I have also done. Sir, I have also done this question.
that's great. But when I will share the page with you for homework, you can upload the same over there, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, then Allah Hafiz and take care. See you in the next
Allah
class.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz,
Allah
sir.
Hafiz, sir.
Allah Hafiz, everyone.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.